Hey guys, welcome. Reality Check with Bob Ruth, Tim Bray, episode number 4. I'm glad you caught me on that. I wasn't quite sure.
What's number 4?
Well, I think we've got some good information to convey today. I think one of the building blocks for success when you're looking for a home is whether or not you qualify and what it takes to qualify. And I think a lot of the Americans that are out there feel that it's easy to qualify.
That's a good point. And actually, there have been a number of articles in the media lately saying that most Americans think it is easy to qualify for a mortgage or to get a mortgage.
So what's the truth? What's the deal?
Well, it's harder than it was in the boom years. I think it can be. I think the documentation requirements today are more intensive than they were, say, 6-7 years ago.
Probably well justified,
Absolutely.
considering that's what got us where we...
That's absolutely true. But however, the documentation requirements are about exactly the same as they were when I first got in the business in the mid-'80s.
So what does it take?
Well, basically, I've always said, and the way I learned the business is that when you qualify for a mortgage, we look at 3 things and 3 things only. So let's take the documentation off the table for a minute and let's look at what it takes to qualify for a mortgage.
Okay.
So there's basically, if you think of a pie, and the pie has 3 pieces and they're all a third. So there's 3 pieces of the pie. And those 3 pieces are ability to repay the loan. Are you able to pay the loan? Are you willing to repay the loan? And is the house sufficient collateral for the mortgage that we're going to give you? Now, the way that we figure that out, we have 3 things that we do. Let's work backwards. Collateral is done by doing an appraisal. We have an appraiser who goes out and looks at the marketplace to find other houses that are similar to the house that the borrower is going to buy that have sold recently. And they usually want to do that. They want to be within a fairly tight radius. They don't want to, they don't want to look at a house borrower's buying a house in Mystic. They don't want to look in Thompson, Connecticut for a comparable. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So it has to be in the marketplace. So willingness is collateral is one piece. Then willingness to repay the loan, we determine by pulling a credit report.
Sure.
And in our business, we pull a very detailed credit report. It's called a 3-vendor merged credit report. Checks all the credit bureaus, so it shows everything you've ever had for a loan or debt. It checks public records, everything. So that's the second piece of the pie. So if the house appraises well and you have good credit, that's pretty good. Then you're 2/3 of the way there. Then the third piece of the pie is ability to repay the mortgage. And that I figure out by determining if you qualify for the financing. And we do that expressing ratios and stuff. So that's based on your income. So if you are able to repay the loan and you're willing to repay the loan and the house appraises sufficiently for the deal, you'll get the mortgage. If one of those pieces is missing, you're going to run into a problem, and sometimes they can't be solved. So for example, somebody has the ability to repay, their income is sufficient, and the appraisal is okay, but they have a credit problem or a late payment history that they haven't resolved, that's going to create a problem. They're going to have to see if they can clear that up so that they can continue with the transaction. Or if people are able to repay and they have a good credit history and that's all good, but the house doesn't appraise, that's a problem.
I'm hearing you're only as good as your weakest link.
That's exactly right. That's how it works. So the key to buying a house, to go back to the earlier question, is it easy, to finance a house? I think it's easy. I'm a control freak. I think it's easy if you have control. I think it's easy if you have figured everything out in advance, and that's the argument for being pre-qualified and maybe pre-approved before you go to buy a house. And so oftentimes a realtor will say to me, can you pre-qualify these people? Because that's not your expertise. Your expertise is buying and selling and pricing houses. My expertise is financing houses. So you'll send me a prospect who's looking, a lead. I'll work with them to find out what they can qualify for and get them pre-qualified or pre-approved and give them back to you so that you can help them find a house that they can buy.
Absolutely. Well, this is extremely good information. I think we need to delve a little deeper into the ratios and maybe what somebody qualifies to purchase.
Sure.
Let's do that on the next one.
I like
if
that.
we can.
That's a great idea.
Tim Bray here, Bob Ruth,
We'll see you next time.
number 4
Number
of...
5. A reality check.
Nice. All right, guys. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you. Off.
Phones off. We've got episode number 4. I hope
Reality check.
we go above 10. I'm going to have trouble. I'm not going to have enough digits.
We can put an eraser here so you know that's 10.
You just write it down.
And then 1 plus.
That's what works. Thank you. Appreciate
That's
that.
10. So you can do the intro,
I'm going to do the intro.
and we're gonna just real estate reality check. So we just need to be.
Prim, proper. I'm not going to...
We need to have fun.
I'm not going to look as good as you.
You look great.